Okay. So, as I mentioned, the first chapter, Arjuna refused to fight the battle. And he gave 5 reasons why he cannot fight the battle. Okay. And generally, all of those reasons, they sound okay, very convincing. But Krishna is not convinced with those reasons. And finally, after getting frustrated, Arjuna surrenders unto Krishna in 2.7 number verse, Karpanya dosha svabhava, and accepts Krishna as his spiritual master and requests him to guide him. What is the best, ultimate good for Arjuna? What should Arjuna do in such situation? So teaching all of us that we also go through different difficult situations in our life. The only shelter which will help us is to take the shelter of Bhagavad Gita, to take shelter of Krishna, to get the best solution. And then Krishna started speaking after Arjuna surrendered. So we will not get mercy of Krishna, will not get guidance of Krishna unless we surrender unto Krishna. It's very simple. Okay. Bhagavad Gita is available in almost every house, but they're not surrendered to Krishna. And hence it only remains as a book. They never get to understand what is the real knowledge hidden in the pages of Bhagavad Gita. So the prime qualification to understand Bhagavad Gita is a sense of surrender to Krishna, accepting him as Supreme Lord, accepting him as our Guru, and doing what Krishna wants us to do. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Krishna expects us to do various devotional activities sincerely. And then we can understand Bhagavad Gita and Krishna himself, who has given this knowledge. And we'll talk about that little more in detail later. So if you want to understand Bhagavad Gita, the supreme knowledge, the most confidential knowledge, we have to accept Krishna as Supreme Lord, one. Second, we have to surrender unto Krishna by accepting all the instructions, what he's giving. And third, by performing various devotional activities, so that we are in the right mood to accept this knowledge. So first, Krishna started explaining knowledge of the soul. How is this body different from soul? Arjuna was worried that if I kill them, they all will die. So Krishna is telling they will never die. Simply do your duty, because they are not this body, they are ultimate eternal soul. Okay, so Krishna tried to refute Arjuna's logic of being compassionate for their bodies. He's saying, don't become compassionate for the body, become compassionate for their souls, because they are not this body, they are the souls. Their real identity is soul. Similarly, when we show compassion to people around us, Krishna is teaching us, don't just be compassionate to the body, which is anyway temporary. Be compassionate to their souls. Give them something which is favorable for their elevation of their consciousness, elevation of the soul. So in detail, till verse number 30, Krishna explained and gave the knowledge of soul. This is called as Sankhya Yoga. Okay? Analytical study of the soul, body and soul. And then Krishna little bit explained about karma kanda activities. Because Arjuna said, how will I enjoy if all of them get killed? So Krishna explained to him, you fight your battle, do your duty. If you win, you get the kingdom. If you lose and die on the battlefield, you will go to heavenly planet. So there is no loss in fighting battle. On the other hand, if you don't fight the battle, there is only loss. Why there is a loss? You'll incur sin of not performing your duty. That is one. Second, people will call you coward. You will attract a lot of ill fame. So being a Kshatriya, it is difficult for a Kshatriya to digest bad words from others or insult from others. And then after explaining Karam Kand or Sakam Karma, expecting some material benefit, now Krishna is trying to raise Arjuna's consciousness from Karam Kand, yani ki Sakam, or doing karma, expecting some results, to Nishkam Karma Yoga. Okay? How we should work or perform our karma without expecting anything. Why? So that we are not bound by karmic reactions. Okay, while explaining those few verses, Krishna explained in the last verse, Yavan Artha Udpane Sarvatha Samplutodake Tavan Sarveshu Vedeshu Brahmanasya Vijanata. Here Krishna is trying to explain we may go to different demigods for different material benefits. Like villages used to have different wells for different purposes. One well for drinking water, one well for washing clothes, one well for bathing. Different wells for different purposes. Similarly, there are different demigods for different material benefits. In last class, we discussed in detail. There's a big verse. Which demigod gives what? Whom to pray to get what? So Krishna is saying there is no need to go to different demigods or different wells. If you have a big reservoir of water, flowing water, if you have a river in the village, all the purposes are served simply by the river. You can take bath, you can even take drinking water because water is flowing continuously. You can bathe, you can do anything. All the purpose, different wells are served by a big reservoir of water. So ultimate lesson from the previous verse was simply chase Krishna and you will achieve all the perfection in your life. Okay. That was the message last week. Now Krishna is explaining why. Okay. One example we took, of Arjuna, when Arjuna and Duryodhana went to Krishna to seek help for the battlefield, for the war in Kurukshetra. Arjuna chose Krishna. He did not choose Krishna's Aishwarya or Krishna's opulence, Krishna's Sena, Krishna's wealth. Arjuna simply chose Krishna, isn't it? And just we discussed. If you have Krishna, you have everything. Okay, that is the message from the previous verse. And the essence of the verse was, highest perfectional stage of Vedic knowledge is revival of Krishna consciousness. If you go through all the Shastras, all the scriptures, the only essence you get is this. How one can make his life perfect is by reviving his Krishna consciousness, by becoming a sincere devotee of Krishna. Okay. Why? Because purpose of rituals and sacrifice of Vedas is not for enjoyment, but for gradual development of self-realization. Is to gradually become devotee. That is the purpose of all the Vedas. Vedascha sarver aham eva vedya. Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, the purpose of reading, doing everything as per Vedas is simply to know him. There is no other purpose. Our relationship with Krishna is eternal, part and parcel. Why Veda suggesting to know Krishna? Because he is the eternal father of every living entity. Every living entity is a part and parcel of Krishna. Okay, so the conclusion of the previous verse was, revival of this relationship is the highest perfection in our life. If you simply work towards re-establishing this lost relationship, that is the highest perfection of life. Okay, and how to best revive this relationship was concluded by inoffensive chanting of the holy name. Okay, the last verse of Shiva Bhagavatam, the essence of all the scriptures, is Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam. Simply by chanting of the holy name are all karmic reactions, sinful reactions of previous many lakhs of lives, millions of lives are nullified. simply by inoffensively chanting of the holy name. Okay. So the purpose of Vedas is to know Krishna and establish our lost relationship. And how to establish that relationship specifically in Kali Yuga is by inoffensively chanting of the holy name. Okay. So this was the essence of what we discussed in the previous class. Today we'll do 2.47 and learn what is the art of performing karma. How one should perform karma. So that karma is done, at the same time there is no reaction of the karma. One is not bound by any reaction to karma. And this verse is very, very famous. I'm sure all of you must have heard about this verse. Karmanyavadhi karaste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalhetu bhur mate sango sta akarmani. Please recite after me. Okay, I'll recite one line, then recite after me. Karmanyavadhi karaste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phal hetur bhur mate sangostva akarmani. Thank you very much. You can mute yourself. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phal hetur bhur mate sangostva. I'm sure every Indian will know this verse. You wake him while he's sleeping and ask him, recite one verse from Bhagavad Gita, he will recite this verse. Isn't it? You'll find this verse also in many shops, in offices. Why they put it in the shop and office? Because they have misunderstood the meaning of this verse. That's why they put it. So if you ask people, what is the meaning of this verse? They will say, Karmanyevadhikaraste. Work is worship. Isn't it? If I am pulling one thela, that is worship. If I am killing a cow in slaughterhouse, this is also worship. For them, doing karma is everything. For them, according to Bhagavad Gita, Karmanyevadhikaraste means work very, very hard. Early morning to late night. That is the meaning they draw out of this verse. No, that is not the meaning of this verse. So this is the most misunderstood and most, misused verse in the entire Bhagavad Gita. Okay. And why it is, what is the real meaning of this verse, we'll try to understand. It is not easy to understand the meaning of this verse. So I'll be taking one example, one analogy to illustrate what is the meaning of this verse. Okay. So Krishna is saying, Karmani. I'll first read word by word meaning. Karmani means in prescribed duties. Focus on the words which Krishna is talking about. Karmani means in prescribed duties. Eva means certainly. Adhikara means right. Te means of you. Ma never. Phaleshu in the fruits. Kadachana at any time. Bhu become. Ma never. Te of you. Sangaha attachment. Astu there should be. A karmani is not doing prescribed duties. Right? Translation purpose by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty. First statement. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty. Second, but you are not entitled to the fruits of the action. मतलब कि धंधा तो करो, ऑफिस जाओ, लेकिन सैलरी पे तुम्हारा हक नहीं. You're not entitled to the fruits of the action. है कोई मानेगा इस बात को? इस लोग दूसरी बात पढ़ते नहीं है, खाली पहली बात याद रखते हैं, कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते, बस है कर्म करना मेरा अधिकार है, इसलिए खूब कर्म करो, खूब मेहनत करो. दूसरी बात या तो उनको पता नहीं है या वो समझना नहीं चाहते. They don't want to understand or they don't want to read it. Why? Because it's asking them to renounce the fruits of that action. Okay. So first line was, you have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but, very big but, you are not entitled to the fruits of the action. Okay. Now that's why Bhagavad Gita is confidential. No one can understand this by reading this line. बोले कृष्णा से गलती हो गया बोलते समय. I think he committed some mistake while saying. He was drunk, it looks like, while giving Bhagavad Gita knowledge to Arjuna. Or he was thinking about Radharani while telling about Bhagavad Gita. So he didn't say the right statement, isn't it? No. Every word spoken by Krishna is absolute truth. Okay? Every word spoken by Krishna is absolute truth. Everything else is wrong. Okay, just repeat after me. Everything spoken by Krishna is absolute truth. Everything else is wrong. That's why we call this knowledge as aporushaya. This is not a knowledge given by ordinary human being, like we study in our schools, colleges. I'm sorry, Manju Mataji, she is an economics professor. She might not like it. We teach so many things in schools, colleges, but the syllabus keeps changing, isn't it? Every 3-4 years, syllabus changes. Why? It is not absolute truth. It is changeable. Okay, theories keep changing. Scientists keep proving old theories wrong and then coming out with new theories. Because it is not absolute knowledge. It is not absolute truth. It can change. Sometimes, 9 planets, sometimes 8 planets, sometimes we'll have 10 planets also. Isn't it? Sometimes we say atom is the smallest. Sometimes we'll say no atom, no, something else is smallest element. Sometimes we say no, plants do not have life. Now we say now plants also have life. Isn't it? Sometimes we say stool is very dirty. No, cow's stool is okay. Now they understand. Even Americans are, registering patents against cow products who never believed in cow, purity of the cow. So their theories will keep changing. Okay. May I request all of you to please switch on your video. Please be present in the class. Dave Mata is traveling to Nathdwara. Still her video is on. Thank you. Thank you, Sandeep Prabhu, Vishwas Prabhu. Please keep it on so I can connect with all of you. Otherwise, आपको समझ नहीं आएगा पूरा. But what Krishna has spoken, वो बोलते थे ना पत्थर की लकीर है वैसा है. It's absolute truth. Krishna gave this knowledge first to Sun God. The first recipient, first student of Bhagavad Gita is not Arjuna. It is Sun God, Surya Dev. And when was this knowledge given? Millions and trillions of years back. And the knowledge he gave to Sun God, the same we are reading today. Can you imagine how fortunate we are? Same 700 verses which Krishna spoke to Sun God, Krishna spoke to Arjuna, now we are reading it. We cannot count how fortunate we are. Isn't it? So whatever Krishna is saying, you're not entitled to the fruits meat, you're not entitled. And you'll try to understand how. Then he says, never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities. But we all keep saying, oh, I have done this, I have done this, I achieved this, I achieved this, isn't it? But Krishna is saying, no, 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 Baba, you're wrong. You are not the cause of your result. You're not the cause of your result of your actions. Don't feel proud. Don't try to seek appreciation from others of having done wonderful job. You're not the cause. Never consider. Krishna is not saying sometimes you consider, sometimes you don't consider. He said never consider. Kadachana. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of the activities. And then Krishna says, fourth statement, never be attached to not doing your duty. You are not entitled to the fruits of the action. You're not the cause. Does not mean you don't perform your duty. Okay, perform your duty. Perform your duty. Don't worry about results. Don't consider yourself the cause of results. And do your duty. Do your karma like a duty. So many contradictions in this one verse. Isn't it? So let me read the purport and then we'll try to understand. Prabhupada writes, there are three considerations here. One is prescribed duties. Second is capricious work and inaction. Prescribed duties are activities enjoined in terms of one's acquired modes of material nature. Prescribed duty means swadharma. Swadharma means based on what modes do I carry. If I am Sattva-guni, then my prescribed duties of a duty of a Brahmana. If I am Rajoguni, my duties of a Kshatriya, administrator. If I am Tamoguni, my duty is to help everybody else like a Shudra. If I am mix of Tamu and Rajo, then I am a Vaishya, a businessman. Okay, Rajo plus Tamo. Then Krishi, Go, Raksha, Vanijya. These three are the duties of a Vaishya. Agriculture, business, and to protect cows. Protecting cows is a duty of a businessman, of a Vaishya. Okay, so you should park some money for this purpose, always. And then Prabhupada says, capricious work means actions without the sanction of authority. Okay, doing karmas which are not prescribed in Shastras. They are called vikarma or capricious work, inauspicious work, sinful work, in simplistically, like meat eating, like intoxication, gambling, or illicit connections with the opposite sex. They are not prescribed. Nishedhatmak, jise bolte hain Hindi. So we cannot do these activities. They are all sinful activities. Then Krishna says, the inaction means not performing one's prescribed duties. So renouncing one's work without any reason is, inaction. The Lord advised that Arjuna not be inactive, but that he performs his prescribed duty without being attached to the result. One who is attached to the result of his work is also the cause of the action. Very, very important line. One who is attached to the result of his work is also the cause of action. He becomes a cause of action means he becomes liable to suffer the reaction of his work if he is attached to the result of his work. Okay? If you think all the fruit I have earned is for my enjoyment, then you're also liable to the reactions of that karma. Okay? Thus, he is enjoyer or sufferer of the result of such actions. Enjoyment means material enjoyment. Okay, based on what kind of karmas you did. As far as prescribed duties are concerned, they can be fitted into three subdivisions, namely routine work, emergency work, and desired activities. Routine work performed as an obligation in terms of scriptural injunctions without desire for results is action in the mode of goodness. Work with results become the cause of bondage. Therefore, such work is not auspicious. So any work in which we are attached to the result, it is inauspicious. So all of us are attached, isn't it, to the results? We do only for that only. Yes or no? So according to Bhagavad Gita, every such act is inauspicious. Why? It causes bondage. It causes sufferings in future. Okay. Everyone has his proprietary right in regard to prescribed duties, but should act without attachment to the result. Such disinterested obligatory duties, Prabhupada has written, such disinterested obligatory duties doubtlessly lead one to the path of liberation. Disinterested means disinterested in the result, but while doing his best. While doing his best, but disinterested in the result, is certainly the path of, doubtlessly lead one to the path of liberation. अब देखिए ये समझना कितना मुश्किल है. What Krishna is trying to say, isn't it? Can common person understand this? Many people who write commentaries on this, they draw their own meanings and confuse the entire public. Okay, Krishna reveals meanings of such verses only to people who perform devotional activities. Krishna does not reveal the hidden meaning of such verses to each and everyone. So one has to become qualified to, get this knowledge revealed. Arjuna was therefore advised by the Lord to fight as a matter of duty without attachment to the result. His non-participation in the battle is another side of attachment. Krishna is saying if Arjuna is trying to run away, that is also an attachment. Attachment to not doing duty. I will not do it. It's also attachment. Isn't it? His non-participation in the battle is another side of attachment. Such attachment, positive or negative, is cause for bondage. Okay, such attachment either to the fruits by working or by renouncing that work, both are cause of bondage. दोनों से कर्म बंधन लगता है. Okay. Inaction is sinful. Krishna is saying if you don't do your duty, it is sinful straight away. Suppose your duty to look after your family, Swadharma. If you just say, I want to become devotee and run away without being pure, that is sinful. That is sinful. So nowhere in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna advises to leave your work. Many people don't want to read Bhagavad Gita. उनको लगता है Bhagavad Gita पढ़ेंगे तो Krishna will tell us, leave your job and go to Vrindavan and simply chant. No, that is not the message of Bhagavad Gita. स्थाने स्थिते श्रुति गत्वा, जहां पर हो वहीं पर हो. बॉम्बे में हो तो बॉम्बे में रहो, मलेशिया में तो मलेशिया में रहो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. जहां पर हो वहीं पर हो, वहां बैठ के श्रुति गत्वा श्रवण करो. किसका श्रवण करो? भगवद गीता भागवतम का. So that you can understand what is absolute truth and live your life accordingly. Otherwise, we have been simply fooling ourselves and we think we are doing wonderful, we think we are very successful, but we are in the opposite direction. Like I have to go to, for example, Delhi. Delhi is in this direction, right? But I start moving my car in this direction and run very fast and think I am running so well. My car is driving, I am driving my car so fast, wonderfully, but I am moving in the opposite direction. Isn't it? So one is running away from his goal, not moving towards his goal, if you're not in the right direction. So Gita provides right direction to your life so that all your efforts you put throughout the day, they are in the right direction, not pulling you back in the opposite direction, ulta direction. Okay. So reading Bhagavad Gita is very, very important. Okay. Now let's try to understand the crux of this verse. Okay. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities and never be attached to not doing your duty. Okay. So there are four important considerations in this verse. How many? Four. Listen one by one carefully. The first one is you have a right to perform your prescribed duty. It means we are duty bound to perform karma or swadharma. We cannot leave it just like that. One can leave it, but at certain stage. And that stage Krishna will explain later. It's too early to talk about now. So first, at this stage, our understanding should be, I have a right, adhikar hai mera, to perform my prescribed duty. We cannot run away. Second, you're not entitled to the fruits of actions. What does it mean? I'll explain this through this logic of bhoga and prasad. All of us cook, in the kitchen and then offer it to the Lord. I'm assuming most of you offer. So the moment we cook, we do not consume. That is bhoga. That is for Krishna. After offering Krishna, we consume the same. But that is not bhoga, it is prasad. Okay? So you're consuming the same thing with a little difference. And that changes the entire game. Okay? But if you try to enjoy in the form of bhoga, whether it is money or your family or your business, then one is entitled, one is, entangled in the karmic reactions. I'll explain this in detail a little later. Third, never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activity. Then what do I consider myself? I am only an instrument. Krishna finally sanctions the result. It is not in my hand. And it is not surprising, isn't it? We work hard for every project, but some projects are successful, some projects are not. Do you agree? Do you think every hard work results in success? Does it happen that way? Sandeep Prabhu? Whatever projects we carry out, every project is successful? While we do work hard in every project? No. Some are successful, some are not. It means somebody else is controlling. Very easy to understand. Isn't it? It is not in my hand to decide this should be the result of this action. No. That also you'll understand in detail. What decides the result of our action? It is not we. We think, I am the doer. I am not the doer. I have only right to perform karma. Bas. I have only right to perform karma, not right on the result. And that is not in my hand. So we should not treat ourselves as doer or karta. We should treat ourselves as an instrument. Like if I have a mic and I'm speaking. The mic is simply an instrument. Mic is not speaking. Isn't it? Who is speaking? Madan Govind Das is speaking. Mic is not speaking. Mic is only an instrument. Similarly, when I produce some result, I am only a mic. I am only an instrument to perform that karma. I am not the cause of that, result of that karma. Okay. And the fourth one, which Krishna is talking about is never be attached to not doing your duty. As I mentioned, some people want to avoid doing duty because it will bring karmic reaction. Like Arjuna said, if I kill them, I have to suffer sinful reactions. So I will not fight. He's avoiding karma to avoid sinful reactions. But Krishna is saying, no, you cannot. Not fighting is also inviting karmic reactions. Or we shouldn't be lazy in doing our duty just because I am not the cause of the result. No, we have to still do our best. Krishna is not leaving us from any side. Eh? So we cannot say, anyway, result is not in my hand. So why should I give my best? Let me just do it. Okay, no. Krishna is expecting us to do our best, but leave the rest to me. Okay. Now, how the most closest example of is a cashier in the bank. Cashier counts so many currency notes every day, but he is not attached to any of these notes. Yes or no? मान लो 1 लाख का चेक आता है विड्रॉल के लिए. So does he start worrying? Oh, 1 लाख गया. No, गया तो गया. And if 1 lakh comes for deposit, he is not very happy. Okay. He is simply doing his duty of counting notes, maintaining records. Yes or no? So we have to simply count notes, not attached, don't get attached to the notes. Okay. So this is performing karma without attachment. Performing karma without attachment. If he is doing his duty nicely, of course his master will be very pleased. His boss will be very pleased with him and will reward him. Yes or no? And suppose he tries to withdraw a few notes from this. Will he be punished? Will he be rewarded? Punished. So we have been withdrawing these notes every day from Krishna's money. Thinking this is ours. Yes or no? And hence we are caught, in many karmic reactions. We think this money is mine. Okay. That's why, पुनरपि जन्मम पुनरपि मरणम, बार बार आना जाना लगा रहता है क्योंकि हम हर रोज विड्रॉ करते रहते हैं, from this stack of currency notes. Okay. Now, second, why and not the cause? Let's try to understand this. You remember, पहले घरों में, earlier in our houses, we used to have, one tank in which we used to store grains. Remember? And at the bottom, there used to be a square outlet to withdraw dhan, to withdraw grain. How many of you have seen this in a house? I have seen my house. How many have seen this? Please raise your hand. You have seen? So what used to happen is, like, my Nanaji had a village, had a farm. He used to cultivate grain. So every time you, what do you call, you remove the grain from the field, you put it in the tank. Okay. So the first crop is at the bottom. Yes. Then second crop comes, that goes above the first crop. Third crop comes, it goes third layer, then fourth, then fifth. And whatever you have cultivated now is on the top. Is on the top. And now if you want to withdraw some grain from the outlet, which crop will come first? Which you cultivated maybe few months, few years back. Yes or no? Similarly, I may be doing wonderful karma now and at the same time suffering. And I may be wondering, I am doing so many good activities, but why am I suffering? Because this is what you cultivated a few years back, few lives back. Now outlet se aa raha hai aapke paas. What you're doing now, you'll get the result later. But first, what you've done in past, you have to suffer or enjoy. So the quality of that crop is based on what you did in previous lifetimes. Okay. So one may wonder, I am working so hard on this project. Why am I not getting the result? Because the result is not based on this year's cultivation. Result is based on previous year's cultivation. Okay. So you cannot directly relate your karma and the result and think that I am the cause of this karma. One cannot relate. And who is sanctioning this? Krishna is sanctioning this. I'll talk about it. Are you able to follow? Yes? Okay. Then next, bhoga and prasadam. So first, let's say Reena Mataji will bring some vegetables to the market. She'll perform karma of cutting vegetables, boiling them, cooking them, make chapatis. Okay. Perform karma. Now, there are two choices. One, we start eating immediately and enjoy the fruit. That is first choice. Second is you offer to the Lord. Don't claim proprietorship on this bhoga. It is for Krishna to enjoy first. Okay. After Krishna has enjoyed, you will also get it in the form of prasad. Now, what is the subtle difference between bhoga and prasada? There is a tremendous difference between bhoga and prasada. When you eat bhoga, which was meant for Krishna, you take all the karmic reactions which were performed, which went along while performing that karma. But the moment you offer it to Krishna, Krishna takes away all the karmas from the bhoga and gives you sanctified prasadam, which is karma free. Like a sugar free meal, bolte hain hum, sugar free meal. It is karma free meal. It is karma free meal. No karmic reaction along with prasadam. So if one tries to enjoy bhoga, he is liable to be punished with his karmic reactions. One who is honoring prasadam, he is honoring free of karma, free of karmic reactions. देखिए, simple devotional act of offering to Krishna makes this diet karma free. Wonderful, no? So if you offer your salary to Krishna as a bhoga and then take prasadam and use it for your needs, it is karma free. Okay? Yeah. Wonderful, no? So simple acts of devotional activities save us big time. We don't realize. Neha vikramanasho vaste pratyavayo vidyate sualpam api asya dharmasya trayate महत्वयात्. छोटी छोटी भक्ति की क्रियाएं हमको बड़े बड़े खतरों से बचाती हैं. Small acts of devotional activities save one from big dangers. Trayate महत्वयात्. Ajamil chanted the holy name by chanting Narayana when he was dying, and Krishna protected him. He did not go to hellish conditions while his karmas were so bad, all sinful life. But Krishna protected him because he chanted the holy name while dying. Such a big danger he escaped, isn't it? He didn't go to hellish conditions, hellish planet, simply by chanting the holy name. So small activities in devotional life are saving us every moment from big dangers. We don't realize. Krishna knows this. We don't know. Okay? So don't eat anything which is without offering, else you are eating karmas. It is not a karma-free meal. Sometimes we sit outside in a 5-star hotel and enjoy. We think we are enjoying. Arey Baba, you are eating karmas. This 5 years of enjoyment will give you 5 lifetimes of suffering. Suppose somebody is eating, a non-veg diet in which you have 5 animals. You have chicken, you have mutton, you have fish and all that. So every animal, there is one lifetime of suffering. For every animal, because the law of karma is every action has an equal and opposite reaction. You killed fish, fish has to kill you in some life, one lifetime of suffering. You killed mutton in the same diet, one mutton has to kill you in some life. You eat one chicken, chicken has to kill you in another life. So 3 non-veg items, 3 lifetimes of suffering. So dangerous, isn't it? But common person doesn't know. He thinks I'm enjoying. This enjoying spirit is creating hellish condition for him in future. He doesn't know. That's why we have to distribute this Bhagavad Gita knowledge as much as possible so that we can save these people from committing sinful actions. Why Prabhupada has it bent upon give this knowledge to other people, give this because save them, save them. They don't know they're suffering. Prabhupada went to Hawaii along with his devotees. I quoted this example earlier also. Okay. He went to this place, red light areas, you understand red light areas. Yeah? Red light areas, you have prostitution, organized prostitution. Okay. So Prabhupada saw one board with half-naked women and people getting into that prostitution house. And he was crying. He's crying because he knows they're not entering into pub. They're not entering into prostitution house. They're entering into hell. They don't know this. He is crying looking at them. They think they're going to enjoy with the women, but no. Prabhupada said they are going to hell. They'll suffer because of this act. So now you understand why it is so critical to make people aware of this wonderful knowledge in Bhagavad Gita. One cannot live a life, even a moment, without this understanding. Isn't it? Even a moment, because every moment you're performing karma. Okay. Now let's take one analogy to understand this. Suppose some landlord has a piece of land. He hires a gardener, okay, Mali, and he gives him land, he gives him seeds, he gives him fertilizers, he gives him water, he gives him pots, he gives him instruments. जिससे हम खेती करते हैं. So land belongs to landlord, seeds belong to landlord, fertilizers belong to landlord, water belongs to landlord, pots belong to landlord, instruments belong to landlord. Yes or no? What is gardener doing? वो थोड़ा खोद के बीज डाल के पानी देता है बस. इतना काम करता है. ठीक है? And after some time, there is a wonderful crop, wonderful flowers, wonderful fruits. Okay, listen here, very important example to understand. Attention, please. So, gardener, after sowing seeds, after a few months, you have a wonderful crop in the form of flowers, in the form of fruits, right? Now, this gardener has two choices. Okay, listen very carefully. Choice one is he plucks all the flowers, fruit, and gives it to the landlord. Okay. And in turn, if landlord is happy, he will give him monetary benefits. He may also give him some fruits, some flowers for his personal use. Yes. And he may give him appreciation letter for good work. Yes. Right, no? First choice gardener has. Second choice gardener has, he thinks that all this wonderful crop or all these flowers, all these fruits are result of his hard work. He has done all the hard work. Landlord is sitting some far away. I am cultivating the land. I am sowing the seed. I am giving the water. So this crop belongs to me. He claims ownership on this result, considers himself the real contributor, and he exercises ownership on this output. Right? Takes large part of flowers and fruits home for his personal use. Okay. सब इधर ध्यान दीजिए please, otherwise you'll miss the crux of this analogy. and gives little bit of output to the landlord. जैसे हम मंदिर जाते हैं कभी, when we go temple, we'll open our purse, and this purse has all the 2,000 rupee notes, 1,000 rupee notes, 5 rupee notes, and then one 10 rupee note. And we'll say which is the smallest one. We'll take out 10 rupee note and put it in the donation box. Yes, sir. What is the mindset here? 10 rupee belongs to Krishna and everything else belongs to me. Yes or no? Honestly, it's what they think, no? Say yes or no. And just shake your head. Yes, no? 10 rupees for Krishna and everything else in the wallet is for me. Right? So this God had the same mindset. He put everything for himself and gave a little bit of flowers and, what do you call, some fruits to Krishna. Now, in the first choice, the landlord will be highly pleased with his gardener. Okay. So he pleased the landlord by acting as an instrument, and he is liable for appreciation many benefits by the landlord. But in the second choice he made, he displeased the Lord or the landlord in this case, or the Lord in our case. Okay, he displeased the landlord and he is liable for punishment. Reaction. In the first, no reaction. Second choice, only reaction. It is sinful for the gardener to do this. Okay. In Bhagavad Gita, similarly, in 18th chapter, Krishna explains there are 5 causes for accomplishment of an action. We think I am doing, but there are 5 causes for accomplishment of any work, any karma we do. Let's read this verse. Panchitani mahabaho कारणानि निबोध में सांख्ये कृतांते प्रोक्तानि सिद्धे सर्व कर्म नाम. O mighty armed Arjuna, according to Vedanta, there are 5 causes for accomplishment of all action. Now learn of these from me. Krishna is telling in 18th chapter 13 number 1. Hey Arjuna, there are 5 things responsible for any work to complete or any action to accomplish. What are these? Adhishthanam tatha karta karanam cha prathak vidham vividhash prit chekacheshta devam chevatra panchamam. Pancham matlab 5. कौन से हैं? The place of action or this body is the first cause for any action. Okay. Second, the performer. Who is the performer? The soul. Third, various senses or the instruments with which we perform work. Fourth, many endeavors. Like gardening is an endeavor. So we have different endeavors responsible for karma to happen. And ultimately, the super soul sitting in our heart. So there are 5 reasons, 5 causes for any action to happen. 1, this body. Second, various senses. Third, soul. Fourth, various endeavors. And fifth, ultimately, the super soul. Okay. Now let's try to draw this analogy with the example we studied. Okay. What is this body? Is a field or the land given by the landlord. This body does not belong to us. Who has given this body? Krishna is the landlord of this body. We are not the landlord. Okay? Because we are sitting inside as a soul. Krishna has given this instrument to us for a purpose, this field for a purpose. Second, the soul. Soul is a gardener. Okay? Who is actually performing gardening action. Third, senses. They are the instruments you use, while doing gardening. Just खोदते हैं, then we give water. There are different instruments we use. Fourth, endeavor, the process of gardening. So we have different endeavors in a life. And fifth is the super soul, who is a landlord. Okay? Now what choice we make? First choice or second choice in most cases? We discuss about 2 choices. What choice we make normally? Do we give it to the landlord, large part of it, and keep, some, and then he gives us back something as a prasadam for us to fulfill our needs, or we keep large part with us and give 10 rupee note to Krishna? क्या करते हैं हम लोग? Yes, Chandni Mataji, you want to say something? I want to hear from all of you.
Prabhuji, second.
Second करते हैं. That's very good. Anyone else? Ladda Prabhuji, Sri Ladda Prabhu.
प्रभु जी अलग अलग इंस्टेंसेस पे डिपेंड करता है.
Mostly.
जैसे mostly we take the larger part. Larger we take the full. We forget the Krishna.
We even forget Krishna. Very good. Thank you. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Rajesh Prabhu. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
Not only that we take a large portion, but also take it thinking that nobody is knowing as not.
We think nobody knows this. No, we think it's mine only. We think it's mine only. I am the doer. I am the karta. So it all belongs to me. There was one Nastik who doesn't believe in God. So he opened a shop. He opened a shop and then he put some demigod picture. He called some Brahmana who will puja kar do some worship. So his friend asked, "Bhai, you don't believe in God. Why are you doing all of this? You don't believe in God. Why are you calling Brahmana, putting a demigod picture and asking him to rotate some incense around picture?" He said, "I know he does not exist. But if he exists, he will be satisfied. If he exists, let him be satisfied. How does it matter? Brahmana will take 101 rupee and 50 rupees samagri. 150 rupees, if I can satisfy him, what is the problem?" That is our mentality. Sometimes we give something, let him be happy. Isn't it? So this change of mindset is very important. That I am not the proprietor, I am not the enjoyer of what I have. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Bhoktaram yagtapasam sarva lok maheshwaram. Baba, I am the owner of all the planets. Sarva lok maheshwaram. Everything is in my control. If everything belongs to me, everything in my control, Bhoktaram, I am the only enjoyer. You simply act like an instrument, act like a gardener. Do your job and give the result to me. And then be happy. You'll be very happy. You'll be peaceful. Like Gardner was very peaceful in the first situation, the first choice. Liable for rewards from Krishna. But second choice, he's liable for punishment. All karmic reaction he has suffered. Okay. So it's a wonderful analogy to understand what we're supposed to do. Okay. So in the first choice, Gardner thinks himself only as an instrument and happily offers the fruit to the landlord. Okay. Happily, because it belongs to him. And in the second choice, he thinks himself the real doer, real cause of the result, and tries to enjoy the fruit of the action. That is the mistake we all do. We think I am the doer, I am the cause of the result, this result belongs to me, so I should enjoy it. Right? And then suffer. So in the first case, the mindset is servant mindset. Servant mindset of a gardener is liable for reward. And what is the reward? Liberation. In the second mindset is master mindset, doer mindset, karta mindset. And that mindset is liable for punishment. What is the punishment? Bondage, karam bandhan. And the first choice, reward, is liberation. The second choice, punishment, is bondage. Okay, does it make clear? Why it is so important to be very careful while making this choice. One choice leads to bondage. Bondage means again and again this body, source of all miseries. Again old age, again death, again diseases, again corona, again and again. Okay? And choice one is liberation from all these problems forever, eternally. Simply by making the right choice. And how do you learn how to make a choice? Bhagavad Gita teaches us how to make this choice. With conviction. So if you opt for choice one, you're not doubtful whether I'm doing right or wrong. Oh, you're 100% right. Krishna is saying the absolute truth. There is not even iota of doubt behind this. So one can convincingly make that first choice. Okay. But how do we travel this journey from master mindset to servant mindset? It's a huge journey we have to travel because we are conditioned of master mindset for many, many ages, many, many lifetimes. We've been living our lives like this only, master mindset. Okay. So this is the process of, bhakti. This is the purpose of devotional activities, to make this migration, to travel this journey from being a master to being a servant. Okay? To convert this master mindset to servant mindset. This is called mukti, liberation. Bhagavatam says, muktir hitva anyatha rupam. What is this anyatha rupam? Is a master mindset. When you renounce that, swarupena vivastite, establishing ourselves in our real swarupa, in a real identity, which is of being servant to Krishna. So devotional activities are meant to travel this journey from this criminal mindset of enjoyment to mindset of serving. Okay. Muktir hitva. Hitva means living. Living what? Master mindset. Swarupena. Swarup matlab asli, or original identification, original swarupa of being a servant. So this migration is called mukti. This is liberation. Okay. So Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Jivera Sarupe hoye Krishner Nitya Das. Krishnera Tatastha Shakti Bhed Abhed Prakash. It means the real Swarupa of every Jiva is to serve Krishna eternally. Why? Because Jiva is the Tatastha Shakti of Krishna. So it is the duty of energy to serve the energetic. Very simple. So we are duty bound to serve Krishna because we are his part and parcel. We are his energy. Energy has to serve energetic. Okay. So when one is established in this position of serving Krishna, then he is peaceful. He is happy. He can protect himself from all the sinful reactions. Sarvadharman parityajya mam ekam shrana bhaja aham tvam sarv papebhyo. Krishna will relieve us of all previous sinful reactions. All means all lifetimes, different births, everything will be relieved simply by surrendering unto Krishna and doing what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So important. So what is the practical application of what we learned? One, do your swadharma according to scripture. Don't do things which are not prescribed, or follow 4 regulatory principles very sincerely. Second, do your best and leave the rest. Accept the result gracefully, because it could be your previous crop. You cannot relate it with your existing action. It could be previous karma action. Just accept it. You cannot do anything about it. Okay. Third, don't try to become the cause of result. Krishna is the real sanctioner. Remember law of karma. Okay, Krishna has given this result, accept it. Don't argue. Offer the result to the real proprietor and real enjoyer, like we honor prasadam instead of bhoga, and avoid all the karmic reaction. So offer everything you have to Krishna. Okay, and then enjoy prasadam, not bhoga. Be strict to your devotional activities to transform our mindset from master to servant. So we don't have servant mindset as of now. We have a master mindset. So all the sadhana, chanting, eating prasadam, using our senses in service of Krishna, we have to keep doing, because devotion means loving service. What is devotion? Loving service to the Lord. This is devotion service. So use your mind to serve Krishna by chanting. Use your intelligence to serve Krishna by reading Gita Bhagavatam. Okay? Use your different bodily parts in the service of Krishna. Use your legs, go to temple. Use your hand to make garlands, to clean the altar, to make bhoga for Krishna, to serve deities at home. So engage all these bodies to practice serving Krishna. And practice makes one perfect. Isn't it? So gradually we'll see we are developing this serving mindset manifest, and the master mindset gradually comes down. This is the perfection of life. This is the goal of life. Nothing else. Okay? Distribute Bhagavad Gita in this month, for example. Best service to Krishna and Prabhupada. And Prabhupada said, in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, everyone is a preacher, whether man or woman, it doesn't matter. Everyone should go out and preach and distribute this knowledge to everyone around us. Women cannot say, I will not go out in this men's job. Everybody has to preach to save people around us. Okay. Little heavy session today, but it was worth it. So if you have any question, you can ask now. 11 o'clock. समझ आया कि नहीं या ऊपर से गया? Let me ask first time visitors, Sandeep Prabhu and Leena Mataji. Sandeep Prabhu first. Any reaction, Prabhuji?
Yeah, it's what should I say, Prabhu? I just remember the old times, actually. It's like I never left, actually. The same old Madan Prabhuji as such. But it's more like, that time used to be stayed, but, far away from what we are doing and what you are talking. But it's been some time, last 6-7 years. अब तो जमीर कोनी मारता है तो कम मारता है, पहले बहुत ज्यादा मारता था, अब फील होती है, अब लगता है कि हाँ, and we are the right path. We can differentiate. I think from the group that we had, we all felt the same. But the best part is we keep listening to these lines, these statements, these analogies, and just to make sure that we are the right path. We are the same path.
Yes. Now we should actually practice also what we hear. Thank you, Sandeep.
Yes.
Okay, Leena Mataji. I'll come to everyone to seek your reaction.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, it was the most I think famous verse, and as you said, most misunderstood. But yeah, we got to know that we all have this master doership mentality, of course, and it's very difficult to not think like that, because we can see ourselves doing everything, and we did, and we that is something we can see. We can't see otherwise. But when we hear these things, analogies, this temple thing is really true, very true. We go and we see the smallest, 1 rupee note. या शायद पहले तो और सिक्के भी देखते थे कि चेंज है तो हम देंगे मंदिर में. This is really, but now I can see the difference, Prabhuji. We talking like as you said कि हम वो बोला कि अगर लोग ये भी चाहते हैं कि हम बस कर दें as a ritual, कि कार नहीं लाए हैं तो उसको मंदिर ले जाते हैं और वो बस चलो ठीक है, मानते हैं नहीं मानते हैं, लेकिन चलो भगवान खुश हो जाएंगे, चलो that thing. So that is also very this thing कि भगवान हमारे उतनी 100 रुपए से या 10 रुपए से तो खुश नहीं होने वाले. This is all about the bhav, the feeling that we think that he is the master. We are not.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Very good, wonderful. Nidhi Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
Hare Krishna.
प्रभु जी ये अभी नेहा माता जी ने जो बोला वो सही बात है कि ये सबसे मिसअंडरस्टूड है। मतलब गीता, जैसे हम लोग गीता पढ़ते हैं तो हमारे फ्रेंड्स भी they keep on telling कि कर्म ही सब कुछ है, you are like तुम तो सन्यासी बन जाओगे ये सब करके। so आज ये पढ़ के I can explain them actually। और प्रभु जी 2 क्वेश्चन है मेरे।
Yes, Mat, पूछिए. Yes, please go
प्रभु
ahead.
जी आपने जैसे बोला, जैसे हमने आज पढ़ा कि भोग लगा के फिर प्रसादम ग्रहण करना चाहिए। बट जब हम रेस्टोरेंट जाते हैं प्रभु जी, इवन इफ हम अगर सात्विक भोजन करते हैं, मतलब प्याज लहसुन नहीं खाते हैं, नॉनवेज नहीं खाते हैं, तो फिर वो इसका मतलब हमें रेस्टोरेंट नहीं जाना चाहिए प्रभु जी। हाउ टू ऑफर भोगा देयर?
यदि we want to escape from karmic reaction, नहीं जाना चाहिए.
ओके।
See, it is very important to understand one who is cooking, his karmic reactions are also, his mindset is also transferred through grain to your mind. If he is thinking criminally, same tendencies will come to us by eating that, bhoga. So that's why if mother is cooking, wife is cooking, they cook with a lot of love, isn't it? So we also experience when we eat at home, we always feel satisfied. Outside, we are never satisfied. For a moment, our tongue may give us some joy, but satisfaction never comes, which comes by eating maybe 2 chapatis, at home, isn't it? So eating outside has become a fashion. Okay, it has become a status symbol. Even we used to go out in Bombay every Saturday, every Sunday we used to go. I still remember I was talking to my wife yesterday. We were remembering those days, and the name of the restaurant was Sheetal Grill. He was talking about what we used to eat there. Yeah, we're talking about all of that. But it's all not good. It is not good. You should cook at home nicely with a lot of love for Krishna. Offer it to Krishna, then honor it. We don't eat prasadam, we honor prasadam. Prasadam is non-different from Krishna. When we eat outside, then we develop bad tendencies. Not good. Even if it is sattvic. Okay, but there are ways to manage exceptions. Like sometimes we are traveling and we don't find prasadam. Then there are ways to manage. That's why we are starting the Thursday class, Vaishnav Sadachar, in which we discuss about these subtle aspects of devotional life and how to handle them. Okay. Yes, thank you, Vidhi Mataji. Okay, anyone else? Dr. Vishwas Prabhu.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्णा
प्रभु जी, एक तो मीनिंग होता है जो हमें पढ़ के समझ में आता है, और एक उसके बिहाइंड, उसके पीछे जो मीनिंग छुपा होता है, उसके अंदर फर्क समझ में आया। वैसे इस बारे में पहले भी क्लासेस में डिस्कशन हुआ है, और इस श्लोक पे तो पहले भी बात हुई है। तो जो रियल मीनिंग है वो बहुत अच्छे समझ में आया, और लोगों को इसके ऊपर जो क्वेश्चंस होते हैं उनको सॉल्व करने के लिए जो हमें बोलना पड़ता है वो अब समझ में आया कि एग्जैक्टली क्या रीजन है।
थैंक यू विश्वास प्रभु। कृष्णा प्रभु, अभी आप डोंट लीव द सेशन, जस्ट वेट फॉर अनदर 5 minutes. I have few things to share. Yes, कृष्णा प्रभु।
हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण।
मेरे जिस तरह विश्वास जी ने और रिधि जी ने कहा है कि उसका अर्थ, इस श्लोक का अर्थ कई अलग अलग तरह से अर्थ निकलता है, इसका अर्थ निकाला जाता है। मेरे भी मन में ये डायलेमा थी या नासमझी थी कहिए कि इसका सही अर्थ क्या है। और मुझे भी ये जब से मैं अप्रैल से जब से मैं भगवत गीता क्लास अटेंड करने लगा हूँ तब से मुझे ये भी सुनने को मिल रहा है ये तो सन्यासी बन जाएगा। लेकिन आज ये श्लोक पढ़ के, आज इसका अर्थ सुन के ये लग रहा है कि सन्यासी बनना मार्ग नहीं है, अपना कर्म करना आवश्यक है और अपने कर्म के ऊपर डटे रहना आवश्यक है। और यही और उसकी उसका जो उदाहरण दिया आपने कि बगीचे में माली का स्वरूप धारण करना आवश्यक है मनुष्य को, बजाय इसके कि मालिक बनना। मनुष्य को ये फील करना, ये महसूस करना आवश्यक है कि वो माली है, मालिक को फल और फूल मालिक को देना आवश्यक है।
बहुत अच्छा, थैंक यू वेरी मच कृष्ण। यस मंजू माता जी।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण, प्रणाम माता जी।
जब हम कृष्ण को भोग लगाते हैं और प्रसाद जो पाते हैं तो हम कर्म बंधन से मुक्त हो जाते हैं। अर्थात भोग भगवान का अधिकार है और प्रसाद जो है हमारा अधिकार है। तो अगर हमें कर्म बंधन से फ्री होना है तो कृष्ण को कोई भी वस्तु ऑफर करके उस प्रसाद को ग्रहण करना है। और प्रभु जी, पर्पस ऑफ डिवोशनल एक्टिविटीज मास्टर माइंड नहीं होना है हमें, बल्कि सर्वेंट माइंड होना है। हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण, वेरी गुड। सो हाउ डू वी प्रैक्टिस दिस? जो भी आप घर पे लेके आए, ऑफर इट टू कृष्ण। इवन यू ब्रिंग योर सॉक्स, बिफोर यूजिंग इट, ऑफर इट टू कृष्ण। You bring a new shirt, you bring new sari, anything you bring, give it to the master first and then use it. So gradually you will develop this mindset of, bringing Krishna in the center for everything. Okay, these small acts, but very, very helpful. Sunilita Prabhu, Satyanarayana Prabhu, Radhika Mataji, Chitra Mataji.
Prabhuji, do your best and leave the rest to Krishna.
Yes, Chitra Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Chitra Mataji is now chanting half. Chitra Mataji chanting half a dozen rounds now. Very good. Yes, Mataji, boli.
Prabhuji, I have a question. कि हमारा मन तो होता है, जैसे कि अब हम कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस में भी आ गए हैं और जो हमको सिखाया जाता है, जो हमारे कल्चर में है कि आप जब भी मंदिर जाओ तभी आप भेंट करो, व्हेन यू स्टार्ट सम न्यू तो आप उसमें भगवान को भी वो रखो, वो सब माइंडसेट होता है। व्हेन इट कम्स टू द प्रैक्टिकल तो हमारी इच्छाएं खत्म ही नहीं होती, आवश्यकताएं खत्म ही नहीं होती, तो वो अप्रोच तक कैसे जा सकते हैं? मतलब वो समझ
जब वो कल प्रभुपाद का कोटेशन भेजा था ना कि when you start chanting 16 rounds, our life changes very quickly. Okay, so first that is a milestone we must hit, and then rest, leave it to Krishna. Okay, and this is very miraculous. Trust me. Gradually, when we are sincerely chanting as prescribed by Prabhupada, we can see our material desires start going down. Our propensity to enjoy independent of Krishna goes down. Okay, so that is the best process to get rid of these propensities. With faith, you should chant. Okay, yes, thank you. Vinita Mataji, Vinita Mataji, उस पोस्टर को पढ़ के कल ही माता ने 16 वाला शुरू कर दिया. From yesterday, Mataji jumped from 9 rounds to 16 rounds simply by reading that Prabhupada lecture, that Prabhupada poster. Yes, Vinita Mataji, only.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, yes, ma'am.
So, we have to do very sincerely in our routine work. हमें जो भी करना है अच्छे सच्चे मन से करना चाहिए, ईश्वर को याद करके करना हो या कुछ भी करना हो, तो हम अपने जुबान पे उसका नाम लेके और फिर मैं खाना बनाती हूँ प्रभु जी, हरे कृष्णा हरे राम करके, और अपने आप ही स्वतः ही वो भोजन इतना स्वादिष्ट बनता है कि सबको बहुत अच्छा लगता है, और पहले प्रभु के चरणों में और उसके बाद फिर अपने में।
बस पहले प्रभु के चरणों में फिर उसको बहुत अच्छा। थैंक यू विनीता माता जी। मुकुल प्रभु, पल्लवी माता जी।
प्रभु जी, मेरा एक छोटा सा मतलब प्रश्न है, मतलब उस डाउट है, मतलब आपसे मैं जानना चाह रहा था कि आपने बताया है कि
आपका आवाज ठीक नहीं आ रहा है प्रभु जी। Your sound is not proper.
अभी
बोलिए बोलिए।
मुझे तो आप प्रॉपर आ रही है, अभी आ रही है?
हाँ, बीच में कट रहा है प्रभु जी, शायद मेरा ही कनेक्शन वीक है। बोलिए बोलिए प्रभु जी।
प्रभु, अगर मान लेते हैं अब अगर बच्चा फेल होगा तो अब उसको तो जिम्मेदार ठहराया जाएगा ना, उसको ये बोले नहीं नहीं यू आर नॉट द कॉज ऑफ द, मतलब अब अगर वो फेल हो जाता है एग्जाम में तो डांट पड़ेगी ना उसको, मतलब अब वो उसका रिजल्ट मतलब क्लियर आ रहा है तो जिम्मेदार भी तो वही होगा, मतलब आप समझ गए मैं क्या कहना चाहता हूँ?
हाँ,
मैं
समझ
बोल रहा हूँ कि भाई तो इसका जरा निवारण करिए कि
हाँ, नहीं
अगर हम
देखिए
मतलब फेल हो जाते हैं तो जिम्मेदार भी हम ही होंगे ना।
नहीं, जिम्मेदार तो हम होंगे, लेकिन उससे पहले बच्चे को सिखाना है टू गिव हिज बेस्ट। दैट इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट देन सिंपली होल्डिंग हिम अकाउंटेबल, है कि नहीं? हरे कृष्ण, कैन यू हियर मी?
हाँ, नाउ इट इज।
हाँ, मैं कह रहा था, so simply holding him accountable after the result is not very useful, isn't it? Holding him accountable for not giving his best is more important. Okay? रिजल्ट के बाद तो आप चाहे डांट भी लोगे तो कोई चेंज होने वाला नहीं है, लेकिन जब वो एग्जाम की तैयारी कर रहा है, साल भर पढ़ाई कर रहा है, तब डांटोगे तो हो सकता है कि गिव्स हिज बेस्ट, दैट कैन मेक अ चेंज। ठीक है? सो वी शुड होल्ड पीपल अकाउंटेबल फॉर नॉट गिविंग देयर बेस्ट। रिजल्ट के लिए आप हमको ही पता है कि इट्स नॉट ओनली इन हैंड। हम देखते हैं कई बच्चे थोड़ी मेहनत करते हैं, वो फर्स्ट टॉप 10 में आ जाते हैं, कुछ बच्चे बहुत मेहनत करते हैं फिर भी नहीं ला पाते है कि। अब मान लो बच्चे की कैपेसिटी है फर्स्ट क्लास लाने की, उतना ही उसका एबिलिटी है, उतना ही उसका सामर्थ्य है, हम उसे एक्सपेक्ट करें कि फर्स्ट क्यों लेके नहीं आया, फर्स्ट रैंक क्यों नहीं आया, और उसको डांटते फटकारते रहे, उससे कोई फर्क पड़ने वाला नहीं। Okay, so we should guide children, or guide for that matter anyone, when he's performing his karma, not only for the result. Okay, so then that can make a difference to the result. Okay, खाली उसको उसके बाद जिम्मेवार ठहरा भी देंगे तो उससे कोई फर्क पड़ने वाला नहीं है। उसको जिम्मेवार ठहराना है कि वो पहले क्यों नहीं पढ़ रहा है, उसको जिम्मेवार ठहराना है कि वो होमवर्क क्यों नहीं कर रहा है। रिजल्ट के बाद it is out of your hand, you can't do anything, only except shouting, nothing else. ठीक है ना प्रभु जी? But yes, externally, worldly, because people don't understand all of this, we can hold people accountable so that next time he gives his best, only from that perspective. Okay, we can hold him accountable for the result to ensure he gives his best next time. Okay. Yes, और किसी को प्रश्न है किसी का? अच्छा, एक डिवोटी डेटाबेस करके एक फॉर्म भेजा था, काफी लोगों ने भर दिया है, कुछ लोगों ने नहीं भरा है, वो कृपया भरने का कष्ट कीजिए, आज इसको भर दीजिए। अब यहाँ पर वरुण प्रभु जी आपका नहीं आया है, देन चित्रा माता जी का पेंडिंग है, राधिका माता जी का पेंडिंग है, वो फॉर्म भर दीजिएगा। कुछ दिक्कत आती है तो आप मेरे से संपर्क करें। देन नीतू माता जी का नहीं आया है, डॉक्टर विश्वास प्रभु है, शी कैन आल्सो फिल इन। देन दिलीप प्रभु हैं, आपका भी आना बाकी है। और प्राण सखी माता जी, आपका भी फॉर्म भरना बाकी है। बाबूलाल प्रभु जी का भी बाकी है, बहुत बड़ी फॉर्म भरिएगा। एंड बाकी सब ने भर चुके हैं, ठीक है। प्लीज ट्राई टू कंप्लीट दिस फॉर्म। और सेकंड, जैसे मैंने लास्ट टाइम रिक्वेस्ट किया था कि प्लीज थिंक अबाउट वेज हाउ वी कैन डिस्ट्रीब्यूट भगवद गीता as many copies as possible, so that many people can get advantage of this. Okay, so please give a sincere thought to it and become an instrument to distribute this knowledge, especially in this month. If you need any help, support, you can contact me. Okay, all right, thank you very much. We'll see you next week at 9:30 a.m. Okay, Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much.